under the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. Black and white. Just let me go, it's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. Just let me go, it's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. Black and white. Black and white. Oh, 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 oh. It's black and white. Black and white.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Simracersworld TV and welcome to another round of the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. My name is Chaz Draycott. Alongside me in the booth once again tonight, I'm delighted to say it's the man that could probably not tell you what day of the week it is, but he can tell you what underwear Tom Christensen was wearing when he won in Le Mans in 1997. It's Peter MacKay. Peter, we had a fantastic broadcast last night, didn't we? And now we've got another one today.
We did, yeah, on two slightly under the radar circuits. We were at Snetterton for the touring cars last night, and here at one of my absolute favourite circuits anywhere in the world, Road Atlanta, home of Petit Le Mans. And yes, it's very good to be here on a Sunday afternoon. Wait, no, it's not Sunday afternoon anymore. It's Wednesday nights for Porsche Club now.
Yes, that change has certainly made a difference for us as well. I mean, having it midweek is a lot more helpful in terms of our consistency, but also means for the drivers as well. You know, hump day is not just hump day anymore. They've got something a bit more worthwhile to look forward to on a Wednesday evening. But yeah, this circuit, as you say, mate, it's a very challenging one, isn't it? Because even when you look at it on a map like that, you think, oh, it's just a bit squiggly with some hairpins at the end of the chicane, but it's a very different kettle of fish when you actually get out there, isn't it?
Yeah, this is, if you were to look up uphill and down dale in the dictionary or to Google it, this would, Road Atlanta would probably come up. It's cut from the local red Georgia clay, and it was built in quite a hurry back in 1970 to host the first race of the Can-Am series, where a certain Vic Elford put it on pole in a chaparral. It's impossible to not say that without sounding suave and sophisticated. Chaparral. And Tony Dean won the race in a Porsche 908. So Porsche have been here since day one in the winner's circle.
Well, a lot of heritage here, and I tell you one thing, these drivers are going to be pushing very, very hard indeed, and it certainly is going to be an entertaining one. We've been looking forward to this one all season, haven't we, mate? And I think we both wanted this and both expect it to be the real gem on the calendar.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I have to say, my favourite series in the world for sports car racing is the IMSA WeatherTech Championship, and the Road Atlanta circuit is one of the real kind of blue-ribboned events where they come here for the Petit Le Mans, the 10-hour enduro, usually at the end of the season, but a wee bit changed about this time around. And it's great to see that that's the great thing with sim racing. Although it's the Porsche Club of Great Britain, we are certainly not we're not constrained to our great British Isles for circuit choice. We can go anywhere all over the world, and it'll be great to see the championship stretch out to some more venues. I'd love to see us go to Sebring, an equally bumpy and tricky circuit, but that would be very cool to go there, or possibly even Daytona as well. But Road Atlanta, very, very special circuit, and one with some amazing sort of little tales and folklore around it, which I'm sure we'll talk about throughout the broadcast.
Oh yes, Peter has forewarned me that he's got a bucket load of information ready for this one, so I look forward to hearing it. Because, well, to be honest, it's never like we have a shortage of action in this series either, to be honest. It's always kicking off, but that's why we love it. There's so much going on all of the time in this championship. I think that we are very blessed to be able to commentate on this for you guys. So we do hope that you enjoy the show. And obviously, we do want to make sure as well that we do the best job that we can. There are plenty of different things that we can do with the wonderful software from SDK. Gavin Halls has just had a bit of an issue, but Ryan Parkins, you were laughing a little bit at him before, weren't you, Peter? Because as soon as he came out of the pits, he had a mistake and put it in the wall.
Well, I have to say that probably gives you the best possible introduction into the difficulty that the drivers are going to face here tonight at Road Atlanta. Part of what makes it, well, if you're going to have a circuit that's really satisfying and fun to drive, which it absolutely is here, it means that it's a challenge. It means that it's difficult, and you can occasionally get it wrong, and therefore satisfying when you get it right. And one of the biggest things the drivers will have to be so careful about tonight is under cold tyres. Of course, we don't have a parade lap. It's a standing start, and they go straight into the opening section, which is definitely the most difficult on the circuit. And Ryan, bearing in mind Ryan is our defending champion and championship leader, and he came out the pits on cold tyres, and it caught him out straight away. So if it can catch him out, it can definitely catch anyone else in the field out. So it's almost as if Ryan had done that on purpose. I didn't put him up to that. He did that all on his own. But as we see, this is who we got. This is a new livery. This number 2 car,
James Cummings. This one,
James Cummings. He's put this nice matte black livery on there. But yes, that is a great example of how the challenge the drivers are going to face. They've got to be very careful over the curbs, particularly at the bottom of the S's. Can really unsettle the car, and you've got to be. We say patience is important here in the Porsche Club of Great Britain, but at Road Atlanta more so than ever before.
Certainly is, mate. Certainly is. There's There's a lot that can go right in this car. When you get it really hooked up and you get on a proper lap, it just feels so rewarding, but it can very quickly go wrong as well. This is Mark Johnson in the number 44 machine. He's currently 16th on the grid, 1.9 seconds off the pace. Patrick Charlton is the highest placed car that's on track, although Dan Bathy has just come out of the pit lane in the wonderful Sacred Coffee looking machine, obviously with the silver fern down the side as well. But Patrick Charlton, who I just mentioned there, as he goes off the circuit for a bit of rallycross, he's been one of the real drivers to watch this season because he's been consistently getting results, hasn't he, with all of his racing experience.
Yeah, incredibly experienced Patrick. He's been racing in the real world for over 20 years and raced Lotus Elises, and is continuing his racing exploits as well, and that's really showing here in the sim with his racecraft and what have you. But also one of our other newcomers, Gary Tall, in P7 right now. Did you know that he has been sim racing since the late 90s? So he actually raced on the original Grand Prix Legends game, and which then sort of morphed into iRacing. So he's been on iRacing since 2009. So one of the very, very early kind of adopters, if you like. But do you know what my favourite new fact about Gary Tall is? He has driven, and I kid you not, he has driven a Sierra Cosworth rally car that none other than Ayrton Senna had previously got behind the wheel of.
Wow. That's pretty
How cool is that?
I like that. And it's these little nuggets of information that it's always great to humanise what we're looking at, because I understand that while we are watching still, it is still motorsport in a virtual sense. The fact that these guys, they're all real people, and a lot of them have got real experience behind the wheel of cars as well, and it's great to hear that. And that's, if I'm not wrong, that is one of the old Team Lizard machines.
That's no, I think it's a custom. It's a custom paint. Yeah, Flying Lizard. Yes, it is. So that's not the typical Flying Lizard, which is silver and red. But actually, I believe that is the livery that they took to Le Mans one year in my favourite shape of 911. We're getting really nerdy now already. The 997.2 GT3 was my favourite, which is the one with the slightly curvy back lights. 997.2 GT3 manual gearbox. I'd be happy for the rest of the time.
Yes, I agree. That is probably my favourite shape as well, actually, when it comes to the Porsche 911s, because the lights just they sort of sunk into the body that little bit, didn't they? And they just gave it that extra edge. Carwadine has a slide there. We've got Danny Jones just behind him, rounding out your top 20 at the moment with 2.5 minutes left of qualifying. Don't forget, when this session hits 25 minutes, it is over. So the drivers do not get a chance to finish the lap they're on. So it's boom, bang, wham, bam, thank you, man, from there on. Johnny Elia, we were looking at him before. He's got the Ignition Classics logo up the side of that car. Again, another livery that's changed this season that looks very good indeed. And Johnny has once again been doing what he did last season, really, and just getting those consistent results, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been the steady Eddie this season, has Johnny. Mr. Ford Transit himself, that's his day-to-day runner. And he's been gathering the points, and he is actually in striking distance in the lead of the championship. Ryan didn't have the best meeting 2 weeks ago for various reasons, many of which out of his control. So that allowed Johnny to actually close up a bit, and of course Matt Dorrington also hit technical issues as well. So it's kind of really shaking things up. But Johnny, if he keeps up the form that he's got at the moment, he's going to be on for a really strong finish in this championship.
Yeah, he certainly will be. I look forward to seeing how he gets on with it, because we do still have a bit to go in this championship yet. But at the end of the day, I think that these drivers, they're not going to step off the gas at any point. I mean, Gavin Halls, let's talk about Gavin. He was very impressive in Season 1, but very inconsistent. This season, other than his technical issues early on, he's turned that around. When he's on track and he's not got those issues, he is flying. He's third at the moment, only 2/10 off Matt Dorrington, who has taken pole position provisionally. Dan Bathy fourth. Paul Rieger in fifth as well. Good to see Baxter Jones up there in seventh. In this gorgeous Valent livery as well. Absolutely love that car. But there are some drivers from Season 1 that have stayed up there, aren't there? But there's others that have sort of made this massive improvement from Season 1 to Season 2, especially with how competitive it is this time round.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly the standout improver this season, sorry, has been Dan Baddy for certain. You know, to be 2/10 off the outright pace of Matt Dorrington and right in the shadow of Gavin Halls and defending champion Ryan Parkins, absolutely superb to be up there as well. Paul Riga, I think, has made a step up again from his already quite impressive level. As well, and then of course the new additions to the grid as well. So it's going to be a busy one here.
It will indeed. And for the first time tonight, we have a grid. Matt Dorrington, pole position for him ahead of Ryan Parkins with Gavin Halls and Dan Bathy. We then have Paul Riga and Patrick Charlton, followed by Mark Baxter-Jones and Gary Toll. Then it's Johnny Elia and Byron Crawford rounding out your top 10. Carl Sharkey and James Cummings make up row 6, with Mark Phillips and Chris Bowie on row 7. Then we have Mark Bowe and Mark Johnson, with Luke Holroyd and Stuart Clark. Then it's Danny Jones and Oliver Carwadine rounding out your top 20. They're followed by Colin Wynne and Amrik Sashdev, with Stephen Kershaw and Julien Noizet on the 12th row of the grid. Behind them is Gilles Gardner and Carl Hazelton, with Paul Stout alongside Ryan Penny. On the 15th row, it's Andrew Soper and Jamie Ward, with Mark Searle and Andrew Marston, the two triple-digit cars behind them. And Angus Archer lines up at the back of the grid, 7.1 seconds off the pace. But here we go then. We have a full grid with just Amrik Sashdev, Ryan Penny and Angus Archer still to take to the grid. But interesting that the grid goes around that final corner here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, that's there's obviously just been set up behind the finish line, but normally they do grid up along the start-finish straight. But there we go. That's going to add another element because the back of the field will be right up behind underneath the Suzuki bridge. So yeah, Matt Dorrington's exactly where he wants to be, front of the on pole position, but also on the inside line.
He is indeed. And round 9 of the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship is underway. Looks like a fairly even start from the guys at the front. However, Dorrington bogs down into second gear and Parkins goes straight through around the outside. Gavin Halls wants to go with him. We've got a car off in the background. Close stuff through there. Parkins has gone wide though, and Dorrington goes back through. Oh, we've got Gary Toll around. He's off the circuit. It's going to be a tall order to try and get back through the field from there, I think you could say. Mark Phillips is still in the middle of it as well. Now this is where they've got to be careful, isn't it, up here over the top of the hill, Peter? Sashdev getting stuck in there with Mark Johnson.
Tell you what, on the whole, absolutely fantastic job from everyone concerned there. That is one of the most...
Oh, Dorrington!
Oh, okay. Go to it.
Where is he? I can't catch him. He's there. He's behind the trees. Dorrington's gone around.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's just got too hot over there. Clip the gravel. Around it goes. That's how easy it is to do, mate.
It is indeed. Yeah, that's a big shock to see Matt Dorrington make a mistake so early. And Paul Riga's up to second place as well. He's taken advantage of Ryan Parkins' mistake there. Baddy's up there as well in the 91 machine, the Sacred Coffee sponsored car. Down towards turn 10A, 10B, hard on the brakes. This is a really treacherous part as well. And look at that, Ryan has a big old wiggle there. The King Hippo, and is he going to get a touch there from Baxter Jones? No, and Baddy takes the position down into the sweeping fast. And is Parkins going to go around the outside? Oh my word, that would be gutsy. But no, just about hangs on to it there. But I have to say, Chaz, honestly, it can't be stressed enough how good a job the entire field has done there. That is one of the most treacherous strips of tarmac in the world in these cars, and on the lap 1 on cold tyres. Kudos to all.
Danny Jones has gone off, so too has Chris Bowie at turn 1. Not sure whether the two of them came together. Danny's going to have to wait to get back on. That was Gary Toll making his way through the order as well. He's trying to push through. We are going to lose a couple over the course of the race, but yeah, like you say, mate, that first lap was very impressive indeed. It's still very feisty within this top 10, though. We've got Johnny Ely at 7th at the moment. He's having to defend from Caravan Carl, Mr. Sharkey, number 77, in the Porsche Sport livery. Carl, you could see there, was taking a late apex through the right-hander to try and get a run down this massive long back straight. As we look back from Johnny Elia's car, the slipstream is quite powerful in these cars, isn't it? But you need a really long straight to take full advantage of it rather than a short burst.
Indeed, yeah. I remember listening to an interview with Owen Hayes, who was the the head of Porsche North America, and saying that, talking about the setup for the 911 RSR here, and he says it's basically on the straight you're needing it's so long you need a Le Mans setup for there, and then maximum downforce for the first half of the track. So it's really, really tricky to get the car dialed in with a good compromise. As we look at Byron Crawford's made a good start in 9th place in the blinds to go, and there goes Mark Bowe at the inside, goes up the inside of Bernie. I'm sure Bernie Mark Phillips, I'm sure he's made sure everyone's well aware to behave themselves on the opening lap. But just as I say that, he has a wee look. He backed out of it there. He thought about it, but thought, oh no, I'll just back out of this.
I think James Cummings has just given himself a slowdown there. As across the front of Luke Holroyd. Luke won't be too pleased about that. Now James has got to worry about Carwoody in just behind him. Now look at this. Johnson and Stuart Clark could also take advantage here as they go out the left hand. A big wobble from Johnson. I think there was contact with the number 23 of Stuart Clark. Now they're side by side in front of him as well. Down the inside of Carwoody. Nearly contact there. It's very close when you come through there. Look at that. Back down the inside. Stuart Clark says thank you very much. And through he goes in front of Oliver. So very, very feisty stuff indeed in this mid-pack. Closest two cars on track, though, are these boys. Mark Phillips now on the back of Mark Bowe as they go down the back straight. Slipstream coming into effect. Let's see what he can do on the brakes, Peter.
Yeah, he's going to go for the lunge, I think. Here he goes, gives plenty room, but he's got to get it stopped. Here comes the bottleneck. Oh, we saw Matt Campbell get ploughed by John Edwards in the BMW at Petit Le Mans there. The car still went on to win the Porsche, but that was nearly a little bit of contact there, but a great battle going on between Mark Bowe, winner last time out, and also Mark Phillips in the Whereby sponsored machine, a new form of video conferencing software, the company that Mark Bernie Phillips works for. And if only, Chaz, he could use that software now to contact Mark Bowe and say, get out of my way, do you know who I am?
If only, mate, if only. I'd love to be able to hear some of the driver radio between some of these races.
Oh.
Gilles Gardner having a bit of a moment there. He's back on, though. Gets on with it. Mark Bowe and Mark Phillips again have swapped places. These two are right together. And in the background, Luke Holroyd and Stuart Clark are side by side. Luke on the right, Stuart on the left. Luke turns it in. And even behind that as well, Colin Wynne and Amrik Sashdev. They're having a battle. So this circuit, while usually in some series you don't see too much overtaking here, these guys are definitely promoting it at the moment. And it's close for second place.
Yep, Paul Riga holding up Ryan Parkins right now, doing a great job to keep the King Hippo behind. But Gavin Halls, he's checked out at the front. He's off in the Porsche Sport car in the number 38. He is really laying down the law. And the thing is with Gavin is once he gets that bit of clean space, he's very, very hard to catch. When he gets into his rhythm, he's super, super quick as well. Of course, a lot of racing experience. And he's got a busy week at work at the Bahrain International Circuit this week because the World Endurance Championship are in town.
Well, he's got certainly a lot of work cut out indeed, but we wish him all the best with that, and he's going to be hoping that he can go back to him, with the bragging rights. I won the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship race over the weekend, or during the week, sorry. So, that's the thing with this. You get a bit of bragging rights for the stuff that you have going in these races, and a lot of the drivers love it because you can have that bit of banter as well. You can sort of stretch it to that. We've had similar in the boring cars as well, where my brother's been doing well. He's been giving it large in the Discord chats, and that's what it's all about. Paul Stout has had an off, and Julien Noizet was involved. Oh, that's big damage to Paul Stout's car. What's happened here?
Well, that car has been so badly pushed in, it's now short and Stout.
Big hit. Very big hit.
Not ideal at all for Paul Stout there, but he's back on the move as they go down. Look at this, Colin Wynne, Amrik Sashdev is there in there as well, Steve Kershaw too, all in a big bunch here. Drag racing down this long straight here, the back straight here at Road Atlanta. So long, in fact, that... Amrik's going down the middle! Oh, that's audacious. Oh, but he backs out of it. And Mark Bowe has had a problem. Now, what's happened to him?
So, Mark Bowe and Mark Phillips have both had an issue here. Not sure whether they've come together on the brakes, maybe a lock-up or something. Let's have a look. Phillips is making Bowe go to one way then the other. They make contact one way, and Bowe, sort of in apologetic way, sort of goes off sympathetically, but that's a shame. Out of all people to hit.
Yeah, Yeah, that'll be a big black mark in his copybook there on Bernie's. Mark, I would lock the doors, lock the house. Just be careful. Yeah, just have eyes in the back of your head. You never know. Never know.
We've got so much going on all over the place here as Dorrington continues his recovery. Back into the top 10 he goes at the expense of Luke Holroyd, who's now got Stuart Clark. Stuart does not give a damn going into that right-hander, does he? Chucks it down the inside. Love it from Stuart Clark. Let's just have a look at this again. This is so opportunistic. So Luke Holroyd has lost the place to Dorrington. Stuart just goes, now stuff it. We're going to go down the inside here, mate. Thank you very much. Gets it stopped. Parks it on the apex, so you can't do anything. And then on the power and see in a bit. Great stuff.
And, normally going for that move, it would really kill your run. But he's got this amazing... I tell you what, I've learnt something big style there, because to make that move and not really destroy your drive out of that corner is really... Normally you can have one or the other. You can have an overtake or you can have a good drive out of that corner. And Stuart is able to get both there. Very impressive. But Ryan Parkins is not making an impression on Paul Riga. So Paul Riga right there on pace. Gavin Halls is away down the road. Matt Dorrington's in 10th. This is, well, Road Atlanta's thrown up all the excitement that we could possibly hope for, Chaz.
It has indeed. It's always nice to see a circuit shake up what you expect the championship to do and how you want it to evolve. But this train here that you see with that little blue car at the front of Paul Riga, this is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th all together in a really long train. This is probably one of the biggest trains we've had near the front of the field since this series began. A lot of the time a couple of drivers had run off at the front. Listen to the whine of that gearbox, it's absolutely wonderful. Don't forget it's 8th place as well actually because of Carl Sharkey, who we're on board with now. Onto the brakes, but you can see though these guys, they're all just assessing each other's pace, aren't they? They're trying to work together to go forward because they know if they start fighting, Gavin Halls' gap's going to just get even bigger, but also the cars behind are going to tag onto this battle even closer.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, Carl's funnily enough, Caravan Carl, he's the last man on the train. He's got his tow hook well and truly locked into this train, and he'll just be getting towed along nicely there. But interesting, I wonder if iRacing have made a slight update to these cars, because they used to have a lot more draft effect. They don't necessarily have that much now. It's not certainly as much as I thought they would. But yeah, there's certainly been what a start to the race it has been, and a pity that Mark Bowe and Mark Phillips managed to come together there, because they were having a superb battle. Very easy to do though in that long braking zone. You're right at the top of top gear as Colin Wynn's gone off.
Yep, Colin's gone in the wall. Mark Johnson's off as well.
Stay there. Not in the racing line. You just never like seeing that, a car going perpendicular to the just loses it on the curbs. That might look like a bit of that might look like a bit of a blunder, but trust me, that is so easy to do. And the car, you almost kind of have to be on top of the car. You kind of have to be ahead of what it might do rather than what it is doing, if you see what I mean. You've almost got to be ahead of it spitting you off. You kind of have to be ahead of it catching you out. As we see Jamie Ward there. Michelin Man's still happy though.
Although it's on Pirelli's.
In the warm-up break, Chaz, I've got a great Michelin Man story for you, but I'll have no time for it now.
I'll hold you to that. Parkins has got through, but he runs wide, bit of a wiggle. And now he's got Paul Riga and Dan Bathy still stuck to the back of him. Amrik Sashdev and Mark Bowe have had an issue. And he's been collected by David Chris Bowie. He sits in the middle of the road trying not to move, but that was a massive hit there. I want to see what happened here with Amrik Sashdev. I think Mark's lost it on the brakes on the way in. Mark tries to get going again and then just gets collected by Chris Bowie. When you're in a position like that, he realised afterwards, Paul Riga. Paul Riga's had an issue at the top as well.
Oh, no. Paul was having such a good run, and you'll have to call this, Chaz, my replay's just cut.
He's just on the brake, on the power, sorry. So easy to do. Just broke away from him, I'm afraid. And that was that. He's now down to 7th position, but it means that Ryan Parkins has managed to break clear a little bit in 2nd place. So he's got a bit of clean air to breathe now. He's got Dan Bathy behind him, but he's not too close.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see. Does Ryan Parkins have the pace to get past or to catch up with Gavin Halls? I mean, I get just the feeling, Chaz, that Ryan's not 100% comfortable with this circuit like we see him pretty much anywhere else. It's just something, he's just that little bit extra kind of hesitancy today. But, you know, if this is an off day, he's in second. You know, that's why he's the champion. You know, even on a day where he doesn't look quite himself, that's, he's, maybe he's worrying about paying for his wedding that's coming up. That's on his mind.
Well, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Bless him. But still, you know, he's got some fantastic focus as Ryan Parkins. He's a really nice guy as well, and he just pushes forward like no other driver I've seen in sim racing for quite a while. Outside of the World Championship stuff anyway. Matt Dorrington, he's on the back of Johnny Elia now. He's going to be chasing to try and get through. 13 and a half minutes gone in this race so far. 2 20-minute races for you tonight, everybody. We've got this race, and then we've got a 10-minute break, and then we've got the second one. As Dorrington goes through, you can see Elia's car in the mirror. Elia on the brakes a little bit earlier, or Elia, as you could say. And Dorrington up into
good
8th.
one. I like that. You thought of that.
Colin Wynn and Andrew Soper, no relation to Steve, have had an issue. I think this is... Oh, Gilles Gardner's actually been involved with Colin Wynn before this. That's Gilles Gardner. Oh, and Carl Hazelton. They've all gone off. Oh, Colin Wynn's done it himself as well in the background. It's all going a bit Pete Tong at the back of the field there. Everyone taking that escape road.
Yeah, it looks like it. As we see Colin Wynn just trying to get back and going again. And oh my goodness me, Andy Marston and the Pink Pig there. Just getting out the way for the drivers coming through. Mark Phillips, Gary Tall.
Oh, big slide.
Well held, Bernie. Oh my word. That was really well held there from Mark Phillips. And now look at this, Gilles Gardner on track now, the 22. That livery, now this is a really choice niche livery on this car. This is a tribute livery to the great Gilles Villeneuve, but it's from his 1977 Formula Atlantic performance, where a certain James Hunt came home pretty despondent, having been absolutely destroyed by Gilles Villeneuve, and he came home and his report to McLaren was, yeah, you should probably sign him, he's quite good. And this was the livery that was on that car. It's a very, very accurate replica of it, actually.
I like it a lot as well. It's just a plain white livery with some logos on that are all multicoloured. Always works for me. It's very 90s, isn't it? And obviously from ages before that as well. Stephen Kershaw is under pressure at the moment from the Haribo car of Danny Jones. Danny looking down the inside. He was a bit close there. I think he had to get out of it partway down the straight. Although he gets back into it, locks up on the way into 10A and 10B. That's very, very feisty stuff. But Kershaw holding on in the Gulf colours at the moment. Still managing to stay ahead of Danny Jones. But back at the front, these guys are still a bit closer together. Byron Crawford has closed in a little bit here in the number 12 machine, the blinds to go car. And Carl Sharkey just in front of him, and then Patrick Charlton leading these pair. These are just outside of the top 3, so no podium spots for them tonight. Well, not at the moment anyway. But still, some good stuff going on for them. Luke Holroyd and Stuart Clark have just swapped places, and I think Stuart's going to try his move down the inside again, is he? No, and he's not close enough this time. We've got movement all over the place. Now Charlton under pressure from Sharkey again. As soon as we look away from it, it kicks off here, Peter.
Yeah, cue the Jaws music. Here comes the shark. But he's all over, goodness me, he's all over the back of Patrick Charlton here. Is Carl Sharkey, who's now self-professed team esports team manager. If you want to connect with Carl Sharkey on LinkedIn, he's very, very happy with himself. Manager of esports team. So there you go.
And Mark Bowes had another issue, so too Stephen Kershaw. What's happened here? Stephen, he sort of looks like he's running wide. Danny Jones tries to take advantage. Stephen gets on with it and hits Mark as he rejoins. Nothing really Mark could do there. Just unfortunate timing, and that car is very broken. Get it off the circuit, good sir. You need to go and take that thing for a lie down, I think. Wobbling around all over the place. Something broken on the rear, I think. Now,
that's
Paul,
taking the shine off his performance.
Yeah, as indeed. That was the 777 of Mark Sill just jumping out of the way there, because Matt Dorrington is all over the back of Paul Rieger now. These two are stuck together once again. Paul Rieger will be watching his mirrors, because don't forget Dorrington was on pole, so he's sort of shown everybody that he's the fastest man around here tonight. And Dorrington, look at the speed of that thing in a straight line. Pulls out to the right hand side of Paul Rieger, onto the brakes. Rieger closes it off though. There's no overlap.
Good in the brakes there, Paul Rieger. They don't call him Anchors Rieger for nothing. Goodness me, that was really impressive there. And he just positioned the car perfectly to defend his spot. But they head up towards turn 1. This is a huge move. If you're going to have a look here, Matt Dorrington's thinking about it. Is he going to have a lunge? He does. Parks it on the apex.
Nice.
Beautiful move. Great respect from Paul as well, but you gave him no more than the car's width. Very good. But Matt Dorrington, that is a beautifully executed move. Very nice indeed.
And he's got a minute and a half now to try and close down on Byron Crawford, but he's 4.4 seconds ahead. So he's going to have to try very, very hard to get that done. Parkins and Bathy, by the way, are that close together. And Parkins has gone deep into the right-hander. So can Bathy get a run? Parkins has a bit of a wiggle on the power. We're going to have one more lap after this one. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds for a lap. We're just on the latter half of lap 14 now. Bathy pulls out to the right-hand side. Gavin Halls is way up the road, 4.6 seconds. It's been a great performance from him, taking advantage of the other guys having a bit of a scruffy first few laps. Now Dan Bathy's on the outside. Parkins knows that on the final lap he's going to get the slipstream, although he's not completely giving it up. Although Dan now down the inside, but Parkins carries the speed around the outside. Gavin Hull starts the final lap of the race, and these two are still side by side, but Dan Bathy gets it done down the inside. But you know, Ryan, he's probably going to try and get this back as soon as he can here, Peter. Or do you think he's going to wait for the straight?
I thought he was going to try and do the Dorrington there and go up the inside. He just got a much better drive out of turn 10B, out of the right-hander at the end of the chicane there. And he got a much better drive than Dan, and actually nearly got by him on the final curve, but that's a really gutsy move there. As we see Patrick Charlton going very defensive there, trying to keep Carl behind. Carl looks to have really strong pace in the 77 car as they head down towards turn 5. Really tricky corner here. You've got to try and break in a straight line, turn it in, take a bit of curb but not too much, and then out onto the exit. Really, guys getting through there really nicely. But yeah, Ryan, I think, yes, that could be it, that he's trying to set up the move. Has he got the drive, though? Over the curb, that won't help. That will not help. No, I think Dan might have this done, actually.
We'll have to see. You know that sometimes when you're further back, starting through a slipstream section, you can get more of a slingshot. We'll keep our eyes on it before we switch back to Gavin Halls. But I think you're right, Peter. He's not going to come back from there. But through 10A and 10B, for the final time in the first race of the night, Gavin Halls, what a performance. Did everything he needed to do, drove away, and he takes round 9 of the championship. Beautiful stuff from Gavin. And he can take those bragging rights with him. Second place goes the way of Dan Bathy, Ryan Parkins third, and Patrick Charlton is just going to hold off Carl Sharkey to the end. Byron Crawford, great performance in 6th. Matt Dorrington, great recovery to 7th there, 2.9 seconds off, and he gained 2.6 seconds on Paul Rieger in that final lap. Johnny Elia 9th, and Mark Baxter Jones is going to round out your 10. But wow, another amazing race to start the night there, Peter, and we knew this was going to be good around here, but if I'm honest, we were expecting a bit of chaos here and there, but the guys have done a fantastic job in that first race, haven't they?
Absolutely, couldn't echo that more. I mean, the first lap, I don't know how many races I've commentated on at Road Atlanta, and it's usually unbridled chaos in the first sector. And if you get, I would urge anyone to look back at the iRacing Petit Le Mans from about a month or so ago, and that's meant to be the best sim races in the world, and it is. But the respect was not there at all, and there was lots of incident. These guys have a lot of them. Got to remember, a lot of them don't have much experience on the sim. They all did an absolutely mega job there. I can't say it enough. I can't stress it enough, because this circuit is a beast, and it's really, really tricky, especially in this car. And the guys did a great job to get through that first lap. Well done to all.
Yeah, they did do a beautiful job. Very beautiful indeed, but the most beautiful job of them all was by Gavin Halls, who very quickly disappears off our screens. But while we just wait for the next session to get underway, we'll show you the results from that race just as they come up. Should have them now. And there we go. So Peter, mate, if you'd like to do the honours.
Oh, I feel honoured. So, Gavin Halls wins by 4.7 seconds. A very, very classy drive indeed from the Bahraini-based Brit. Dan Baddy was second. A good performance from him to edge out the reigning champion, Ryan Parkins. Very impressive indeed. Patrick Charlton was fourth, with Carl Sharkey in fifth. Byron Crawford for Blinds to Go Factory Racing in sixth. Matt Dorrington in seventh. Paul Riga, unfortunately, running up in the podium spot, but a small mistake just cost him, but finished in eighth nonetheless. Johnny Elia was ninth, with Mark Baxter-Jones in 10th. Luke Holroyd was 11th, just edging out Stuart Clark after a race-long battle. Oliver Carwadine finished 13th, followed by Gary Tall, Mark Phillips, Danny Jones, Stephen Kershaw and Mark Johnson. And running out the rest of the field, after you, Chaz.
Oh, apologies, mate. It's doing it again. I keep clicking on the grid thing rather than the positions thing. Apologies.
Thought you were eating your shortbread there.
Oh,
Chris
no.
Boy was 19th, Gilles Gardner 20th, Julian Noisy 21st, Carl Hazelton 22nd, Andrew Soper 23rd, Amrik Sashdev 24th, and finally Mark Sell, Ryan Penny, James Cummings, and Paul Stout. And finally, Colin Wynn, Andrew Marston, Jamie Ward, Mark Bowe, and Angus Archer. 33 cars involved today here at Road Atlanta. And I tell you what, Chaz, I am raring to go for the second race. Of course, a complete reverse grid. None of this drawing balls out of a bag or anything like that, like you get in BTCC. This is a complete reverse grid, so Gavin Halls will have to go right from the back of the pack, and that is going to be a very, very difficult situation indeed.
It is. I can't wait to see how they get on here because, I mean, we said before, overtaking is not always the easiest around this track, but these guys have shown us that you can certainly get it done. I mean, Stuart Clark in that first race was brilliant with his dives down the inside of the second of the two right-handers at the top of the hill. Absolutely loved that. But these cars, you know, they can break away from you on such an oscillating track like this. We saw it at Alton Park last season, didn't we? The tiniest of bumps when you're on the throttle can just throw this car at a barrier before you can say Porsche.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, you've got to be ahead of it. You've got to be right on top of the car and ready for anything it's going to do. And you almost kind of have to practice and get the mistakes out the system, or know where the kind of danger spots are. And you kind of not really find that until you've done a lot of laps here. And it's but once you do get into that rhythm, you can wear a groove in the place. It's a really, really satisfying circuit when you get it right. We just see James Cummings coming to the end of this very, very long back straight. So long, in fact, that in the mid-1980s, when a certain Randy Lanier owned the circuit, him and his friends used to land their private aircraft on that particular back straight. Yes. Now, Randy is, and how do I say this, one of the most notorious marijuana smugglers in history. And he was so good at it that he managed to do it for many, many years, and but was eventually arrested and sent to jail, and got out not all that long ago, actually. But he was a very, very good IMSA racer. In fact, 1984 IMSA champion in a March Chevrolet. But he, I listened to an interview with him recently, and he said, "Oh, why did you buy Road Atlanta?" He goes, "Well, so that I could do testing and also to launder some money."
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the home of American money laundering for tonight's round of the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. But still, interesting to have that little story, though, Peter. Thank you. And this is the straight you were referring to, and I hope they landed them before the bridge was put in, obviously.
I don't know if Mazda had that bridge there at the time, but no, this was actually at the first ever Petit Le Mans in 1998. Yannick Dalmas flipped. It was around that era when LMP1 or GT1 cars, as they were known then, had a bit of a habit of flipping in the air, and that was the Porsche 911 at 98 GT1 that Alan McNish would have been getting into, but Yannick Dalmas flipped it into the scenery going down there. And then Wayne Taylor went on to win in a Ferrari 333 with Emmanuel Collard and Eric Van der Poel. But I have to say, this circuit would not be here if it wasn't for a man called Dr. Don Penos, who, in fact, American sports car racing would not be what it is without him. Dr. Don Penos was, would you believe this, Chaz, the guy that invented the nicotine patch.
No way.
So Dr. Don Penos, the man who invented the nicotine patch, bought Road Atlanta in 1996, spent a lot of money on it, brought it up to standard, put in the chicane at turn 10A and 10B, and also got the Petite Le Mans race going, and therefore, and after that, the American Le Mans series. So Dr. Don, we salute you. He left us 2 years ago, but yeah, a huge bequest to this great sport.
I love story time with Peter, don't you, everybody? It's fantastic.
Honestly, yeah.
No, honestly, mate, it's brilliant. It really is. It's just great to hear about all these different things that, you know, it's nuggets of information that people can take away and they'll go, did you know? It's fantastic. This is Julien Noiset. We're just looking at the driver of Jamie Ward a moment ago. And, you know, some of these guys a bit further down the order, a bit more inexperienced with these cars, but still, they do a really good job, don't they, considering how hard these cars are to drive.
Oh, very much so. I mean, it is just a completely different. As you mentioned on our touring car broadcast last night, Chaz, that iRacing is quite a step up in difficulty because it's so realistic. Funnily enough, driving race cars is quite difficult, and you know, because it's so realistic, that does make it a challenge if you're used to maybe, for example, playing something like Gran Turismo or Forza with a computer gaming pad, you know, and we refer to Forza and Gran Turismo as games, and we refer to iRacing as a simulator, and that's a very important distinction, and therefore it makes it very tricky. And then when you throw this particular car into the equation, it just ratchets it up even more. And then, even if that's even not more difficult enough, when you come to some place like Road Atlanta, which is, like you say, coming through here through the, really, it's like going through a roller coaster, and the car doesn't want to change direction. Yeah, absolutely, these guys are doing a massive job. I hope that gives a bit of context to how good a job they're doing.
It does indeed, mate. It does. And I mean, I've tried this car before. No ABS, no traction control, but similar to GT3 spec. It's such a fast car. It's great. It feels like it floats everywhere though that you drive it. Sometimes it does really glide through corners. You can get a slide just a little bit on it, but you can save it 90% of the time. That's the thing. And everyone always says, you know, Porsches are drivers' cars, and they are. With the engine being that far back, the weight distribution is fantastic, and it just feels like no other car. And even in the sim, you can feel it. As Jamie Ward has found out, but you can feel just how different this car is, even in the sim. And again, I think that hands itself to how good iRacing is, in all honesty. What we're going to do, though, everybody, is Peter and I are just going to take a few minutes break. We've got about 7 minutes of this warm-up session to go, although I think we may be advancing at about the 10-minute mark. So just give us a couple of moments, guys, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, thank you for your patience there, everybody. With that little break, we've got some interesting goings-on here in this warm-up session, but this is the point of this, really. Chaz Draycott here with Peter MacKay in the commentary box here on Simracersworld TV for the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. And as I was just alluding to there, Peter, these guys, they get this warm-up session to just push the limits a bit with no repercussions, really, don't they?
Yeah, it's a good, it's maybe if you've made a mistake in the first race, it's really good to go through that corner again as soon as you can. Just try and get the lay of the land, maybe go through it a few times, almost see where you made that mistake. And yeah, any track time is good time. Any track time is good time to spend. So the as you can see, most of the field are out on circuit right now, getting those laps in. Some prefer to go and make a cup of tea. Or whatever they so wish, but maybe Dan Bathy, he'll be going to have a sacred coffee, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know I would.
In terms of coffee standards, now I'm not a coffee drinker, but I mean, if the coffee is as good as the logo looks, then I imagine it's pretty good coffee. To be fair,
I think you should start drinking coffee just for that reason, just to drink sacred coffee. You could then have your own Chaz Draycott meme. You could be like, I don't normally drink coffee, but when I do, I drink sacred coffee.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot the hi. I'm Chaz Draycott, and I don't normally drink coffee, but when I do, I drink sacred coffee.
I think that's the start of an advert coming up, mate. I must admit, it's not going to be one that everyone's going to enjoy. I'll give you that, but still, I think I might have to. I think I'm going to have to get the missus to train me on that because she enjoys coffee. So I think potentially I might have to go on a course or something. The Beth Johnson course of coffee or something. Still, a great first race under our belts. We've got 40 seconds left to go. I think we're in for an absolute belter in this second one, don't you?
We are, yes, and my secret paddock source, who shall remain nameless, it's Gavin Halls, told me that it would be very difficult, very, very difficult for those race 1 winners to actually be able to do the double. So difficult is overtaking around here. Now, normally Gavin's little tidbits that he gives me are normally pretty spot on, but I don't know. I get the impression that we could see. I mean, we've got 3 or 4 really quick guys, and I don't think we were short of overtaking whatsoever in that first race, Chaz. So who knows? The possibilities are endless.
I think some of the impatience from some of these drivers may take over when they try and make their way through the field, as we have some wonderful accidents on the final straight there, just so they can get the session sorted. But yeah, I'm expecting a bit of mayhem at the front as some of these drivers try and make their way through, and then obviously with the guys coming through from the back, they're going to have to exercise extreme patience here. So we'll just fly through the top 20 for you. Angus Archer and Mark Bowe alongside each other on the front row, with Jamie Ward and Andrew Marston on row 2. Then it's Colin Wynne and Paul Stout, James Cummings and Ryan Penny on row 4, with Mark Searle and Amric Sashdev rounding out your top 10. We then have Andrew Soper and Carl Hazelton, with Julien Noizet and Gilles Gardner. Then it's Chris Bowie and Mark Johnson on row 8, ahead of Stephen Kershaw and Danny Jones. Then we have Bernie, Mark Phillips himself, and Gary Tall rounding out your top 20. You'll see the rest of the grid just filter through there. But, I mean, outside of that top 20 alone, we have one hell of a grid, really, don't we?
We really do. We certainly do. And we're going to see the cream of the crop maybe rise to the top. We'll need to wait and see.
We will indeed. We're just waiting for the front row of the grid. Angus Archer and Mark Bowe, neither of them here at the moment. So it's Jamie Ward that is currently sitting on pole, I hope. Angus and Mark can make it, but it doesn't look like they're going to. So Jamie Ward, he gets his wheels straight, and he's going to lead the field away for round 10 of the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. And they're away. Oh, it's a very static start from Colin Wynne on the second row. Look at James Cummings flying through. He's gone up from 7th to 5th already, obviously gaining a couple of places. Mark Bowe drops down the order. Mark Searle and Andrew Marston are 2 to watch for in the middle of this. The triple-digit numbers. Oh, I say that, though. Andrew Marston's gone backwards as they go up the hill there. Going to watch to see names coming through from the middle of the pack, see if anyone gets out of shape in the background. Look at that sea of cars. Oh, we've got cars off at the back. Oliver Carwadine, Danny Jones is in there as well. Oh, that's a real shame. Oh, Mark Baxter Jones as well. He's off.
Uh-oh.
Manages to save it, though, somehow. But at the very front, Paul Stout in the Manti car flying away with this by the look of it. Oh,
Yeah,
we've got big
Oh.
chaos. Big chaos. Sorry, mate. Luke Holroyd, Mark Johnson, We've also got Johnny Elia off. Look at this car park here at the top of the hill. What has gone on here, boys? What a nightmare this is. Let's try and figure this out, Peter. Sorry, mate.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's try it. So, Mark, but I think it maybe sets off at the blink. Oh,
it's already happened in front, actually. Gary Toll gets rolled over. Let's have a look at what happened to Gary Toll a little bit further up. There's a big check-up in front. Oh, Gary goes into the back of 2 cars there, gets drilled. He's in the middle of the road, and they all just pile in. And it's so hard to see as you go up there, isn't it? That's just, it's kind of inevitable.
yeah, and you're going so quick as well. I mean, you're like 5th gear at the bottom of the hill there, and the car is almost in a kind of miniature you're in a kind of miniature tank slapper every single lap, where you've kind of got to just run with the sort of momentum a little bit, and then if you've got to slow down abruptly, well, there's just not the time to do it. So that was just bad luck for those. But look at Carl Sharkey diving up inside of Parkins. Carl, what has he had for breakfast today? Goodness me, tuna probably.
Wow.
So, we got another someone else off there. Oh, when cars go off on that grass, you just worry. You just wait for the T-bone. We saw it in the 6 hours of Road Atlanta as well a few months ago, where Paul Riga's off as well. He rejoins and they all swarm around him. Goodness me, this is hectic.
Oh,
now there's Gavin Hall's got through safe. Go on.
I don't know if you saw that then, but the number 82 machine of Jamie Ward was sideways in the middle of the track. Hazelton's gone off as well. Parkins down the inside. The 247 of Stephen Kershaw. Oh, Dan Bathy's been hit by Riga. And he's over.
Goodness me, Dan Bathy. Oh, you'll have spilt his coffee in there. Oh, no. That's not very Paul Riga, but it wasn't even much of a hit really there. That was just almost a touring car train bumping and bashing his way through there. And I wonder if maybe Paul got a help from behind and that created a bit of a kind of Constantina. I don't know, but that's a shame for Dan Bathy. He had a lot of pace, but this is the danger of getting through the field in the consolation race, the reverse grid race. My apologies, they're both equally. Whoa! Goodness me, Gavin Halls and Ryan Parkins both going right onto the grass there. Out of the final corner, through turn 1, up the hill they go. The Pink Pig slowed down there on the inside. So where are we? Gavin Hall's in 11th. Ryan Parkins right behind. Carl Sharkey in 10th. Matt Dorrington's already got up to 7th. How on earth has he managed that? That's incredible. So I think that Gavin Halls might actually be making his own prediction wrong here, I think.
Yeah, he's gained 22 places so far, so he's shown us that it is going to be a bit easier than he made out before. He's just coming up to the back of, that's Oliver Cowdean, who is a lap down on him once he gets through. I think Chris Bowie's just had an issue and given them a position, so that's another one gained. And now down the straight they go. They've got the slipstream off Oliver Cowdean, but the car ahead, Julien Noizet in the number 88, there he is the next car for position. So he's got the 2 Porsche Sport machines coming after him, with Sharkey and Halls. Halls down the inside. Doesn't give a damn that it's his teammate. But they've got to be careful now, because Parkins behind. He's going to be watching this, isn't he? Thinking, right, where can I make a move? And, well, here is the moment. Just.
Wow. That's... So I think Carl, as soon as he saw Ryan having a look up the inside, he went, nope, shut the door straight in his face. That would have hurt. Oh my word, and noisy.
Through the middle.
Oh my word.
Oh man, I thought he was going to try it.
A bit there.
Fantastic stuff. Ryan Parkins, he never ceases to amaze. He doesn't get it done, but still, the fact that he even went to have a look at it physically, that scared the life out of me. Jeez.
Well. I think this is probably some of the most aggression we've seen from Ryan Parkins. And
God.
There goes Noisy.
That really made me jump. Oh, he's had a right moment, and I just clicked on him as he got to the wall, and bang, there it is. Oh, that made me jump like nothing ever before on a sim racing broadcast. Flipping heck. This is the battle for 3rd place, by the way. Battle for 2nd. Sashdev on the back of Stout, with Mark Phillips just behind them as well. And then Colin Wynn and Gary Toll in the orange machine. Oh, Stout's gone straight on. Gary Toll in the orange car just behind this is a lap down. But then you've got Matt Dorrington just in the background of this as well. There's Toll going through, but there is Dorrington. So he's going to try and get past Paul Stout. He's going to make it nice and easy down the straight. And more progress made. We're already a quarter of the way through this race. How's that happened? As Dorrington does the fastest lap of the race. 1:21.9, 21.7 by Halls. The drivers around him are doing 23s, 24s and 26s.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for Matt Dorrington to make up for lost time. Of course, had technical issues and couldn't race 2 weeks ago. He's back now, and this is a great opportunity for Matt to come through. He's got the kind of hard work done now. He's just, Gary Toll moving out the way there, being a lap down, of course, so good stuff from Gary. But yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for Matt Dorrington with Ryan Parkins back in 9th right now. He's still got quite a lot of work to do. Matt Dorrington has already done that work. So I think this is a really good opportunity, and I'm sure Matt Dorrington in the 166 car, he'll be well aware of that.
Yeah, he just needs to play it a little bit safe at certain points, doesn't he? He doesn't want to push it too hard. Just wants to make sure if he gets a move done, it's nice and safe. Gavin Halls in the background is up to 7th, ahead of Ryan Penny, who's now got Ryan Parkins on the back of him, and then Carl Sharkey just behind him. So the field a little bit more spread out than it has been before. Amrik Sachdev's gone straight on at 10A and 10B. And Matt Dorrington gains another position. Through he goes into 3rd with Mark Phillips. Now look at this. Colin Wynn and Amrik Sachdev. Colin round the outside. Nice stuff there. In the number 4 machine into P4. But yeah, the progress so far from Dorrington, Halls, Parkins and Sharkey has been brilliant. Dorrington especially. He's gained 24 places. Gavin Halls has gained 26, I must add. Just shows you. Mark Bowes just had a little bit of an off by the look of it. But look at this from Dorrington. It's just relentless pace. Absolutely relentless. Last time round he did a 1:22.6. Mark Phillips ahead of 24.0. And it was actually a 22.3 from James Cummings. So not having to deal with that traffic is really helping our race leader.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you just look through the S's there. Matt Dorrington's so smooth and really riding over the curbs with real confidence. That's a critical part there, being able to ride the curbs here at Road Atlanta, as we see Gilles Gardner pulling across there, and Matt Dorrington's now in the draft of Bernie Phillips. He's in a great position whereby he could get past Mark Phillips.
Oh, you love that one.
You do. Yeah. He's going to get him on the anchors here. Here we go. Green car versus green car. Whoa, and Matt Dorrington makes it look simple, I can assure you, making that move. You're right at the very top of top gear. You're down to 2nd gear. It is a big braking zone, and he makes it look nice. Oh, Parkins is off! Oh, the King Hippo has been temporarily dethroned. What on earth has happened to Ryan Parkins? He's done it on his own. I've never seen this before. Goodness me, this is a collector's item.
Just too hot into 10A. Easily done. Rejoins very swiftly. Oliver Carwadine, nice avoidance, but that now means as well that Gavin Halls, Carl Sharkey's got past him. He only lost 1 place from that, behind Carl Sharkey. But still, it means that Gavin Halls can now open up some more points advantage on him for this race meeting alone, and so too can Matt Dorrington. Every position counts in this sort of championship where it's so competitive. This is Patrick Charlton trying to get past Stephen Kershaw, car 27 against car 247. Both with blue and orange parts on them. Great run there from Patrick Charlton. We're not even halfway through this race yet, and it's already been absolutely bonkers. But that means, of course, there's plenty of time for Dorrington to try and get that lead, as down the inside goes Patrick Charlton. The Omologato logo on the back corners of that Porsche as well. Nicely done. Through he goes and off into the distance. But look at this again. We've still got more battling going on here. Colin Wynn, Amrik Sachdev, Gavin Halls in there as well. And Gary Toll is a lap down. Look at that from Sachdev down the inside. Go on, mate. Beautiful stuff.
Lovely. That was a really lovely move there from Amrik Sachdev. He's running up the front and loving it. Brilliant stuff. To see Amrik get a bit more of the rub of the green. He's been so unlucky so many times, but he's running up there with the big boys. Gary Toll there, Colin Wynn. Here goes Gavin Halls. Is he going to do the Dorrington at turn 1? Wynn shuts the door. He's like, yeah, you can be as much of a racing driver as you want. I'm just going to slam the door shut in your nose. And, well, that was great defence there from Colin Wynn. As they head down the S's, Gavin will have to try another time as Patrick Charlton tries to Jaeger dive bomb against Ryan Penny. Oh!
Jaeger dive bomb, I love it. Oh, Colin Wynn has actually just gone off the circuit. And he's had to recover now, so that's Paul Stout going through. Ryan Parkins just behind him. Gavin Halls has apparently had an issue. Gavin Halls has got involved in this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and they've come together
my.
big time. And what I was saying about Gavin Hall's gaining some points in the championship has gone out the window because you're about to see it. Oh no, as he tries to get it going again. Gavin, what have you done? And there goes.
Gav.
Where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's already gone through. Ryan Parkins is long gone up the road. Gavin Hall's now down to 16th position. And Parkins on the right-hand side of your screen there, up into, well, he's trying to get up into 7th. Oh, as Colin Wynn's overdone it. Is he going to hit Parkins, though? Oh, goodness me. This is the thing with some of these drivers, you know, it's like going through a minefield with a blindfold on, isn't it, sometimes when you try and get through the order.
It's like going through a minefield covered by wonderful bespoke blinds from Blinds to Go. You can't see a thing. They're so good at keeping the sunlight out.
Oh, my God. We'll do anything here on Simracersworld TV to get a brand name in.
Gavin Hall's there. I tell you what, it was like he got his nose shut off there by. He's getting bullied about again. He's been bullied again. He's been bullied off the track again, and he's like Colin Wynn shut the door in his face, and he's thought, I've wrecked a McLaren. I'll wreck a Porsche as well if I have to.
He goes into he goes in just a bit too hot, doesn't he? And then there's contact with Kershaw and that was the number 12 machine, wasn't it? Got in there. Byron Crawford just stuck together, and they're still together as well. They're still side by side now. Byron Crawford down the inside. He's been very entertaining this evening, as Byron. Absolutely love it. Stephen Kershaw as well in the Gulf-coloured machine. Oh, was behind Mark Bowe and Johnny Elias. Sorry, ahead. Have come to blows here. Mark Bowe's had a real tough time, hasn't he, tonight? He's been in the wars properly.
Now, that reminds me, we should say we must give a big hello to Mrs. Bowe, Mark's mum, who never misses a broadcast. We're sorry Mark hasn't had the best of nights, Mrs. Bowe, but hope you're enjoying the broadcast nonetheless. Hope you're enjoying the racing.
We certainly do. And, I mean, we're enjoying it up here. There's just never a shortage of action in this championship. Down even in 15th and 16th place. This is Carl Hazelton now, trying to defend from Mark Baxter-Jones. Mark down the inside as he gets through to the final corner and makes it stick as he goes across the line. Carl Hazelton, 16th now. Gavin Halls is up to 14th, but he's only gained, he's gained 19 places. Ryan Parkins has gained 25, Matt Dorrington has gained 25, and Carl Sharkey's gained 24. What's happened to Chris Bowie? He's taking some of the cones for a ride there. I can hear Peter.
We always have to give Chris his moment of fame.
I could just tell by the slight silence you were waiting for a pun. I was just saying, literally, it was coming out of my mouth already, saying he's going to bring out a pun here. Mark Searles had an issue in the BWT car. Whoa, that's a proper two-wheel moment there. Gets the car stopped. Nice stuff, to be fair. Keeps it where it is, so he's not pulling across in front of anybody or suddenly getting into someone's path. We've got Charlton and Wynn here side by side once again. And Charlton's going to hope that he can win this battle. He's a bit later on the brakes though. Into 10A, misses the apex a bit, but still, he's good at carrying the speed through the corners, isn't he?
Yeah, you can see that again, that real world racing experience coming to the fore here with Patrick Charlton. I love how he's got a matching helmet for his paint scheme there as well. As we see and he's running the number 27 of a certain Casey Stoner, double MotoGP world champion.
He is indeed.
And a lot of people used to call him Casey Moaner because, well, he did moan quite a lot. Very, very talented on the bike, incredible rider, but yeah, he did live up to the Casey Moaner moniker quite a lot.
It's not as bad as Jack Villeneuve. He's got Ryan Penny in front of him now as Byron Crawford. It's car 12, P12, so for my OCD's sake, I kind of hope that he stays there, but I know he won't want to. All over the back of him at the moment, hopefully. Oh, well, there you go. There's the commentator's curse in a bit. As he's gone off the circuit, now he's back down to 15th. So he's got 5 minutes to gain 3 places back to restore my faith in his attention to OCD. Amrik Sashdev, by the way, still battling up there in front. This is great to see. Like you said before, mate, Amrik has had no luck in this championship, but he's defending hard from Carl. Have that, Carl. Get in.
Have it. Yes. Brilliant stuff. You could just see Amrik's there. You could see Carl having a look. He's going, "Oh, you think so, do you?" Bang! Just shuts the door straight in his face. Fantastic. Oh, tell you what, nothing gets the Michelin Man down, really, does there? Nothing. Always happy.
He is indeed. This is Kershaw now with Baxter Jones around him. He's got Baron Crawford right behind him as well. It's all still kicking off in this midfield here. Kershaw, he's been overtaken by a couple of people in this last lap or so, but he doesn't care. He's still having a great fight out there. Patrick Charlton has got passed out, and Matt Dorrington is going for the lead here on James Cummings. This has been a bit under the radar. But James Cummings is going to defend this till the cows come home. He's been leading the race oh so well so far. Dorrington is just trying to edge away. It's just not happening yet. Now he's on the outside here for 10A, but that's going to obviously put him on the inside for 10B. So I think he's in the box seat here, don't you reckon?
Well, James Cummings, you've got to feel for him. He's been leading all the way through the race. Dorrington goes very late on the brakes. Is Cummings going to give it to him? Oh, he might. Goes for the cutback. He'll get a good drive here. Can he get the drive? He does. Dorrington goes a little bit wide and allows Cummings to get a little bit of it. Oh, and he gets it sealed up. Oh, I thought Cummings was going to get a little bit of the switchback there. Amrik Sashdev. Oh, this is the drive of Amrik Sashdev's sim racing career. He is keeping two bona fide front runners behind him. The defending champion, Ryan Parkins, can't get past him. Amrik Sashdev, have you been practicing? And maybe he's given up golf after all. Because he did say, he says, oh, I'm going back to golf, I'm better at that. Maybe he's given it up and he's gone full-time sim racing. Wow. And he goes, look at this. Is Ryan going to get up the inside here? He's going to use the traffic as a pick. Very smart. Very, very smart indeed. Oh, wee bit of a nudge there. Oh, and that's... Oh, unlucky. That was just unlucky. I won't have that. That was Amrik's fault. No, I won't have it.
Jamie was just trying to get out of the way, and he was just like, oh, you've held me up now, Biff. Get off it. This is still going on as well. I'm waiting for another Jaeger dive bomb from either Colin Wynne, Gavin Hulls, Mark Baxter Jones, or Byron Crawford, or Stephen Kershaw. All of them piling in behind Ryan Penny. Gavin Hulls down the inside of Colin Wynne. He says, you bullied me off before, take this. Now we've got Marston in front as well. Marston's another one that's just trying to get out of the way here. Colin Wynne thinks, right, I'm not going to pay attention to the circuit. Hulls around the outside, Baxter Jones down the inside. You've also got Byron Crawford as well. Baxter Jones cuts across the pair of them. Marston gets out of the way. Penny stays where he is. You've got Johnny Elia on the back of this as well. Kershaw's still stuck in there. Lock up of the brakes from Baxter Jones. And how are we going to sort this out? We're going to have to go on the chopper cam just so we can see all of it. Look at this train of cars, Peter.
Goodness me. It's
oh,
like
no! They got away with that.
Big time. Yeah, it's like the M1 on a Monday morning. My word, it's better lane discipline though. My goodness me, Gavin Halls, he's got big damage and he's getting bullied around big style here. Is he going to take a look up the inside of Mark Baxter Jones? Is he going to valiantly make a move? No, he isn't. Valiant defence there from Mark Baxter Jones. Now, I tell you what, I've got a great livery idea, Chaz.
Oh no, Ryan Penny! Oh no, Ryan! Ryan, what are you doing?
That's a big one. That's a big one. Well, it did relate to this car.
It's a bigger one.
Huge!
Byron Crawford catching Gianluca Elia.
Oh, Johnny Elia's run of amazing results comes to a bit of an abrupt end.
So let's have a look what happened here. So Ryan Penny gets out of shape. Somehow doesn't take Mark Baxter Jones with him. Byron Crawford just piles into Jamie Ward, catches Johnny Elia. How Stephen Kershaw got through that, I do not know. Jamie Ward, bless him, he's just been trying to stay out of the way. And, well, there's a mess made there of Byron Crawford's car, I'm afraid. And the blinds have gone. We've got 30 seconds of this race left to go, though, and it looks like Dorrington is about to start the final lap. He's just started what will be the final lap. We've got, Paul Rieger. What's happened here to Paul? Gets going again, tries to make sure it's a safe place to go. Ryan Penny has also gone off the circuit. I thought that was him in the background. Well, it's going to be... the tiniest of touches from Rieger and Penny. Somehow misses Mark Bowe. Penny ends up way off the circuit. That's a real shame, that. There's just been so much going on here, mate. We expected chaos, and there certainly has been, but it's brilliant to watch.
Oh, there's been some excellent racing. As you see Stuart Clark here having to hold off, and now a bit of a Mad Max spec 911 of Mark Bowe here. He's lost the front, but he's the front hood, but he's still going. Now, I've just come up with a bit of a livery idea for you, Chaz. The Jägermeister car. Do you remember the old BAR Formula One cars with the half 555 and half Lucky Strike? Do you remember that? I
do, yes. The 1999 car.
Have half Jägermeister and half Red Bull on how good would that be? The Jaeger dive bomb.
You know what? I'm going to have a word with you after this about. I don't want to give it away on air, but to round out a brilliant evening for us here in the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. Matt Dorrington rounds the final corner, 27th on the grid to take a win. What a drive by Matt Dorrington. James Cummings, car 2P2, hats off to James Cummings. That's a great performance. And Bernie gets a podium. Mark Phillips finishes third. He'll be overjoyed with that. Mega stuff. Ryan Parkins started in 31st place and gets fourth. That's amazing as well. Carl Sharkey, great stuff from him. He was 29th on the start. Patrick Charlton was 30th as well. He gets 6th. Just shows you the calibre of some of these drivers that come through. But Amrik Sashdev, what a drive that is, Peter.
What
awesome.
A drive. Drive of his career.
Well
held
done.
off the cream of the crop there. Amrik, we salute you, sir. That was a mega drive. You should be really proud of that one. And Gavin Halls, well, don't quit the day job. Oh, wait. He's a... I do jest, dear viewers. We do jest. We like giving Gavin a little bit of everything from time to time.
Oh, Stephen! He got a bit of a tap there from Colin Wynn. That was a little bit naughty, to be fair, but still an amazing second race for us. Colin Wynn's in the barrier. Danny Jones has given up. He's run out of Haribo. Ryan Penny's gone off the circuit as well, coming out the final couple of corners. Oh, I need to lie down. I need a Jägermeister after that, to be fair. Absolutely awesome stuff, though. What a brilliant race meeting we've had. We knew this would be a gem, didn't we? And it's been a gem for Matt Dorrington.
It has, yeah. It's been a good meeting for Matt. Of course, Matt, very experienced sim racer. Oh, don't worry, folks. Checkered flag is out. I think he was trying a bit of a Tokyo drift there, but so yeah. I mean, it's been a very good meeting for Matt. Oh dear, did a job on that. Whereas Mark Bernie Phillips, he's not engaging and indulging himself in any childish antics. He's just parking up quietly and just maybe contacting a friend or a colleague on Whereby, possibly.
Honestly, everybody, the effort we go to, especially Peter, on Simracersworld TV to get a link into a brand, it's just wow. It's the sponsor's absolute dream, to be fair. Here are the results from that race then. Matt Dorrington wins by 2.5 seconds from James Cummings. Mark Phillips gets a podium in third with Ryan Parkins fourth, vitally ahead of Carl Sharkey, and also don't forget Gavin Halls. Patrick Charlton finishes in 6th, another good race meeting for him. Amrik Sashdev, 7th place, awesome stuff from him. And Chris Bowie, 8th as well. Paul Stout, 9th. They'll be very happy to get a top 10. Mark Baxter-Jones rounds out said 10. Gavin Halls finishes 11th with Stephen Kershaw in 12th. Colin Wynn in 13th after a very rough ride tonight. Mark Johnson in 14th ahead of Carl Hazelton and Stuart Clark. Mark Bowe, he's going to need to lie down after that one, I tell you. Paul Rieger the same as well, 18th for him. Then we have Andrew Soper in 19th. Ryan Penny rounds out your top 20 and the last car on the lead lap. We then have Julien Noizet, Danny Jones and Gary Tall with Oliver Carbadine, Gilles Gardner, Byron Crawford, Johnny Elia and Mark Sill joining them 1 lap down. 2 laps down was Jamie Ward and Andrew Marston. Yeah, it is Andrew Marston. Luke Holroyd and Dan Bathy proving that the numbers 911 and 91 not so fruitful for them tonight. And Angus Archer, unfortunately, did not take a start. But wow, another incredible race meeting and plenty of action here in the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. And we're going to try and get a quick... we're going to have a chat. Amrik Sashdev joins us in the chat. We've wanted to speak to him for a very long time. Amrik, you must be very pleased with that, mate. A 7th place in that race, considering how much was going on. You must be over the moon.
Can you hear me? Because I've not used this before, so I don't know if I'm doing it properly.
Yeah, we can hear you, mate. We can hear you loud and clear.
Right, can you tell Peter I'm not going to talk to him because I've sent him loads of private messages on Discord and he hasn't had the courtesy of responding to them, so I'm only talking to you.
Okay,
oh dear.
we'll go down that route.
But I might forgive him if he says sorry.
That is fair enough, Amrik. I think you should go and watch the broadcast back, and you'll hear all the nice things I was saying about you.
That's fine. You always say nice things about me. You just ignore me on Discord. But I am sitting here in my sim, and I am dripping. Honestly, my hands are sweating, my head's sweating. I don't normally wear a headset when I race. I feel like I'm roasting, but Man, I was crapping it in the last few laps of that. That's why I went off on the corner when Patrick was there, because I was sitting there working out how far ahead of him I was, how many laps I had to go, and I just missed my braking spot. But I should just concentrate on the driving rather than trying to do mental maths in a race. Not a good thing to do.
Well, it certainly made it entertaining, and I mean, I can completely understand the sweating buckets, because when you're in such a fierce race like that, the concentration levels you need, and I think it's a very underappreciated part of sim racing from people that don't do it. The level of concentration and the physical level as well. I mean, you're physically turning the wheel and working the pedals and everything. It's not like we're all sat there with Xbox controllers or anything, but you know, there is a big demand.
I've just got a direct drive wheel from Matt at Midas Simulation. He set me up with a wheel and a VRS direct drive wheel and a new steering wheel. So I've had it since I don't know, probably less than a week now. So
yeah,
it's actually quite physical doing it. He gave me some settings to use, and I could hardly turn the wheel, so I had to turn them down. But it was really good fun, actually. I must admit, I've been practicing a bit and doing the AI races, which definitely helps, because the lap times are fine, but you know, racing with all these cars around you is a completely different thing.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I'd imagine that a direct drive wheel does help as well. I hear a lot of arguments saying, the hardware doesn't make you faster, but when the wheel has the capability to help you feel more of the force, and you know, you can feel the understeer and the oversteer a little bit more, it sort of makes the car feel a bit more planted with what you can at least feel through the wheel. Do you agree?
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, I had a couple of oversteer moments today, and if I was using my other wheel, I would definitely not have caught them. You'd have been making another comment about my 360s.
Yeah, I must admit, mate, even though it's at other people's expense, Peter and I do love a pun, so we do apologise. But
no, listen, can I tell you, I find it hilarious. I watch it every time. My missus watches it, and I'm sitting there in creases. So I don't take any offence at all. I think it's hilarious. So.
Well, we're glad you enjoy it, mate. We really are. But honestly, well done on 7th place in that second race. That was really good. We were both so pleased for you.
No, thank you, mate. And Peter, you've got to get his game of golf in.
We do. We absolutely do. You need to come up here. I've got a few places I can show you.
Well, I'm scheduled to come to King's Barnes next April. It got cancelled this year, so I'll be up there next year. So I'll definitely look you up, mate.
At the date.
Smashing stuff. Well, I'll be there to commentate on it as loudly as possible, as you can imagine. But Amrik, before we let you go, mate, do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, just my other half, Sarah, who I haven't seen for weeks because I keep off and going and practice and do this and that and the other. So she watches the replays as well. And I wanted to thank Matt at Midas, because I've got all my stuff from him, and if it wasn't for him, I'd have probably got stitched up by Fanatec or someone else. And just all the guys at PCGP, Mark and Gavin and everyone who does, did loads of work behind the scenes that just help us out. It's fantastic. So I wouldn't be able to do it without them lot. And you guys keep your commentary going. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much, Amrik. Great to speak to you, mate. Well done again, and we'll hopefully speak to you another round this season.
Yeah, definitely. Nice to speak to you in person as well, Peter. I was only joking about the other stuff.
Good job, Amrik. Great drive, pal.
Cheers,
all right.
guys.
How do I get out of this interview room?
I'll drag you down, mate. Don't you worry.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Amrik. Love it. He's not scared of throwing some salt around. I love that. Bit of fun there from Amrik /Dev.
He's sweating. I'm sweating with guilt right now, Chaz.
Love it. Well, another driver that we get a chance to speak to is someone we spoke to early on in the season when he was very new to this. It's Gilles Gardner. And, well, to start with, Peter was admiring the livery earlier, but you had to get your elbows out a little bit tonight. That seemed very feisty.
Yes, it was. Excuse me. It was really interesting, but I made a horrible mistake at the beginning of the second race and flubbed the start, so I had to come in and serve a black flag. But first race was okay. I mean, it was just amazing how you think you do enough preparation and iron out your mistakes, and then the proof's in the pudding when you're under race pressure, when it counts. I was starting to come back and repeat mistakes that I thought I'd sorted, and just reestablishing the rhythm after that was challenging, but finished it, and then the second one was, once you're out of sequence, it's really tough just to just watching the relative and watching your mirrors and making sure you're staying out of the fast people's way, because it's a relatively short lap, compared to our last race.
Yeah.
The leaders are on you right away, and then I had lost an extra 30 seconds in the pits. I came out with only a gap of 5 or 6 seconds behind me, and then it's just tough to just get back into it after that. You make room for them, and then you get back into it. But look, we have a super group of drivers, and people are very respectful. So that if they're out of sequence, they'll move out of your way, and people give as much space as they can. And I thought we did quite well in that first race, first lap, to keep us all out of trouble.
Yeah, Peter commented on that as well. I mean, while we have been looking forward to this round, we have said that we expected a little bit of chaos here and there, but we've not had that at all. It's been really impressive, to be honest, and it's been great to see drivers like yourself with a bit less experience than some of the front runners really developing so far. Has there been anything in particular that you have noted or tried to improve on sort of consciously that you can pick out?
To me, it's just been, the line I didn't have any problems with. It was what difference that I have made, and the help that I've gotten in the braking zones. So I was always thinking I would try to brake as late as I could, but it wasn't just about braking as late as you could. It was about braking and then carrying the right speed. So I was tending to brake too much, even though I was braking late. I was still over braking. I wasn't modulating the brake pedal correctly. I wasn't releasing at the right points, and I was trail braking as much as I could have. And I've just improved that. And here I thought, there's no way I'm going to improve a second on this particular track. When I first started practicing, how am I going to find a second? And then all of a sudden you just get into that rhythm, and you get the feeling, that those key corners where you can gain that time, and then before you know it, you finish the lap and you've got it, and beyond. It's just a lot of it's psychological, a lot of it's you're thinking that you've done exactly the same thing, but then you've gone a second quicker, and it just that kind of momentum builds as well. You're doing a lapping session, and all of a sudden you're quicker, you're carrying more speed through that last corner. And particularly on this circuit, it's so critical to get that last sequence of corners under the bridge, down the hill, and then if you can carry that much more speed through that last corner, by the time you get to turn 1, you could have gained 10 meters, and then that means half a second or more. And it just it encourages you. You see that delta, and you want to continue to eliminate your mistakes, and they just add up. Those little parts of time that you gain end up with a quicker time.
Yeah, it's crazy how it all works out in the end, to be honest, isn't it, with progress like that? But still, it's been impressive to see, mate, and it's been obviously a lot of fun having you in the booth with us, and obviously on track. It's been, like I say, it's been just nice to see that development from some of you drivers.
That's great.
Well.
Yes, me too, and I've really enjoyed doing it, and the encouragement that I get from the group is, I'm convinced that that's had more than half of it to do with it. So appreciate that.
Well, it's great to speak to you as always, Jill. Do you want to give a quick shout out to anybody before you go?
No, my family for being patient, and probably my son for staying off the internet tonight and any other time of racing to keep the bandwidth clear.
That's what I'm like with the missus when I'm streaming.
Modern problems.
Yeah,
modern problems.
As soon as I'm streaming, I've got to let the missus know when it is, so she doesn't upload anything because of the work she does and so on. No, it's nothing like that. But yeah, great to speak to you though, Jill. Thank you very much,
Jeff.
and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye now.
And one more interview, Peter. I'll leave this one with you, Peter, because he's jumped in to have a word. He's got a podium tonight, so he's going to be giving it the big one. Mark Phillips joins us in the box.
All hail King Bernie.
Yeah, I tell you, the racing gets fantastic as the weeks go on, but I tell you what also gets better as you pair. You're like a fine wine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go with that.
Well, I tell you what we're not like, Mark, is that horrible Copperberg stuff that Chaz drinks.
Oh, here we go.
Terrible. No, it should be drinking all wide. Hey, what a bunch of races this evening, eh?
Well, my first question for you, Mark, is how long are you going to ban Mark Bofrom for taking you out of race 1? 3 seasons? 4 seasons?
So one of the things that we started last race, actually, we asked the whole group if they would like us to do race reviews of incidents. and give constructive feedback. So Gavin and myself have started doing these reviews because, Gav's a proper racer, whereas I'm just one of these faux racers. But we thought that would be interesting. It'd make an interesting dynamic between the two of us. Ammo has christened this Crime Stoppers and thinks it's hilarious. And I've already said to Mr. Bow, Crime Stoppers is going to be fun this week, isn't it?
Well, I'd like to be a fly on the wall in that one.
It's all good, race incident, wasn't it? Braking downhill for that turn, I braked pretty late down there anyway, and I thought there's no way that he's going to outbrake me down here, but he gave it a good go.
I can imagine he was probably thinking the same thing. It's like, oh, Bernie, he can never brake as late as me. I brake later than him, and then I think we could see how that one's going.
Yeah, definitely. In all fairness, Mark was faster than me over the lap. I have done nowhere near enough practice of this circuit, and he was quicker than me. At some point or another, he was probably going to have me.
Mark, that brings us on neatly to this wonderful Road Atlanta circuit. I was so pleased to see it on the schedule for this season. Now, for next season, can we put Sebring forward? Daytona, maybe, possibly? Another stateside trip for PTGB?
Well, you know that it's a democracy, the way that this thing works.
I'll vote for it.
Count my vote. I hope you do count my vote.
We do count your vote. Yeah, I tell you what, Peter, I'm really glad we put Road Atlanta in. This, okay, so I got the podium on race 2 here, but it's not been my best circuit in terms of lap times, but in terms of circuit feel, isn't it wonderful? What an absolutely amazing track. I would love to drive this place for real.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite circuits in the world, both to drive on the sim, but also to watch. Of course, home of the Petit Le Mans as well. So it's when you see the onboards of guys in prototypes around here, it's woof, it's serious stuff. Now, Mark, I know that you'll want to give 3 different types of plug to Whereby. Now is your chance.
Thanks very much. Yes, thank you very much for all your commenting on my paint job, Peter. It's greatly appreciated, and I'm sure that my CEO is going to be extremely happy to hear the extra plug-in this week as well. So yes, thanks to my sponsors there. Thanks to you guys as ever for just providing fantastic entertainment. What is it? Educate, entertain, and inform. You guys do it absolutely brilliantly. It's just such a great job. And thanks to the folks who helped me to organise this. I know you jokingly call me the Bernie Eccleston of it as the organiser. I can't do this on my own. There's so much organisation goes into it. Gav, Matt, Carl, and actually Gary Tall, who puts a heck of a lot of work into the season stats that we've got now. So yeah, thanks to him. Thanks as ever, lastly, to my ever-patient wife.
Love it. Well, great to speak to you, Mark. Honestly, thank you very much for the kind words as well, because we really do love putting this show on. It is a hell of a lot of fun to work with Peter on this, and his information as well, his encyclopedia inside his head, despite the fact it may have been tarnished somewhat by whiskey over the years, is still very much intact, and I think you'll agree on that one. It's a belter, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Great stuff, guys. Look forward to the next race in a couple of weeks. We're off to Spa.
Oh, yes. Love it. Well, great to speak to you, Mark. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Love it. What a character as well. And to have him as a league organiser, it's just great, isn't it? Because he understands every different aspect of it, and he's just a great bloke to chat to, isn't he?
Yeah, and he takes our friendly ribbing well as well. I have to say, we do rib him pretty hard, don't we? I say we. I'm throwing you under the bus, Chaz. You're the perfect professional.
Indeed. Well,
but yes, it's a pleasure to do it. It really is. And funny enough, I saw a post the other day from Porsche Club themselves about how well the sim racing community is grown in just a matter of months, and that is literally, it has only been going 6 months, which is extraordinary, and here we are. And it's been really, really cool to be a part of it from day one.
It has indeed. We do have a quick update in terms of championship points for you as well, everybody. It's very, very close at the top, but the most winningest driver this season is actually Matt Dorrington. He's got 3 race wins over Ryan Parkin's 2 wins, and Johnny Elia has a win, so too does Paul Rieger. Gavin Halls has 2, and Mark Bowe has obviously won a round as well. But in terms of the overall points then, it's Ryan Parkins at the top of the standings on 172 points. He is only 16 points ahead of Matt Dorrington, and Johnny Elia is 3rd ahead of Patrick Charlton Paul Rieger, and Dan Bathy in 6th. Mark Phillips is 7th. Gavin Halls is down in 8th, with James Cummings 9th. That's good for him. And Mark Baxter-Jones rounding out the top 10. So once again, we've got the King Hippo up top, but Dorrington and Elia. That's brilliant from Johnny, isn't it? I mean, we've said under the radar quite a lot. It is a phrase that I dislike, but I use a lot. He is the definition of that this season.
Yeah, he really was, and unfortunately was having an equally solid performance today, but unfortunately very much the innocent victim to another accident today, which squashed his chances of good points in race 2 as well. But yeah, it's been a great, I think, Johnny, Elia and oh goodness me, my mind has gone blank. They're obviously so impressive that his mind's gone blank. Sacred Coffee Car, oh my word, this is a blunder and a half. Dan Bathy, oh my God, Dan, I'm so sorry. Dan, you've been so good that Dan and Johnny have done a mega job and have really made a step up. But I tell you what, the last thought from me, Chaz, it's got to be Amrik Sashdev.
Yeah.
Drive of his PCGB career today, the way he just diced wheel to wheel with guys with a lot of experience, with Carl and with Ryan and Matt Dorrington as well, and he was going toe to toe with them. So there you go. It's must be all that fancy new gear he's bought from Matt Dorrington at My Dad's Simulation.
Yeah, definitely. It does make a difference, though. I've said it before, and it's great to see that it's working for him. But honestly, thank you everybody for watching tonight. It's been another joy. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you everybody at Simracersworld TV and Porsche Club GB. My name is is Chaz Draycott. Joining me tonight was Peter MacKay. This has been the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship from Road Atlanta, and we will see you same time in 2 weeks at Spa-Francorchamps. But for now, have yourselves a wonderful evening, and we'll see you then.
Maybe I'll leave, baby, but you